All right, so are you ready to like really dive deep into this Supergirl casting news?
I am so ready. Let's go.
Because like there's a new movie,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in the works, and it's going to be based on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow,
Right.
the 2022 comic series.
Right.
And I think we've got some pretty interesting stuff here.
Yeah, we do. I'm excited to get into this.
So first of all, let's just get it out of the way. They cast Millie Alcock as Supergirl.
Okay.
Now,
You
she's
think-
only 24,
Okay.
but
She's young.
she was in
Yeah.
I think House of the Dragon,
Yeah, that's right.
and like she killed it in that.
Yeah, yeah. I think she's got a lot of potential.
So I mean, like, this is kind of a big deal.
Oh, huge deal. I mean, they were searching forever to find the right person for this role.
Yeah, yeah.
And, what I think is really cool is they're saying the Supergirl is going to be different.
Okay.
Like the director wants to show a different side of her.
Yeah.
And she's had kind of a hard time, growing up on this fragment of Krypton.
Oh, yeah, it's like a really brutal, like, upbringing.
Right, exactly. It's not the typical, bright and optimistic Supergirl that we're used to. This one's going to have some grit.
Okay, so we're moving away from, like, the classic
Yeah.
Supergirl image.
Exactly.
Okay, and speaking of moving away from classic images,
Oh, here we go.
Jason Momoa has been cast in the movie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now I know what you're thinking.
Aquaman.
You're thinking Aquaman.
Yeah, exactly.
But no,
Okay.
he's playing Lobo.
Whoa, wait. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's wild.
So for anyone who doesn't know who Lobo is, he's like
Oh, yeah. Fill me in.
this intergalactic bounty hunter.
Oh, okay.
He's kind of violent and chaotic.
So, like, is he a villain? I don't really know much about this guy.
He's kind of like an antihero.
Okay.
So he's from this planet, Zarnia, and everyone on this planet is super violent.
Right.
And he's like the most violent of them all.
Okay, so he's from, like, a really tough background.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think that this casting is actually really interesting because, I mean, we always see Jason Momoa as these like
Heroic. Yeah.
heroic, godlike characters.
Uh-huh.
And now he's going to be playing this guy who is so morally complex.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is like a complete departure for him, right? It's going to be so interesting to see how he brings that kind of ruthlessness to the role.
Yeah, and like, how do you think this dynamic is going to work?
Well, I think there's going to be a clash for sure. Like, Supergirl, even though she's had this rough upbringing, probably still holds on to some heroic ideals. But Lobo's just in it for himself. So, they're going to butt heads, I think. But I think it could also force them to both kind of look at themselves and think about, like, what does it even mean to be a hero?
Right, right. And this whole morality thing, I mean, we see it a lot in Woman of Tomorrow,
Yeah.
which is what this movie's based on, the comic series.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know. What do you think? Like, do you think that they're going to try to carry that over?
Oh, I think so. Woman of Tomorrow is all about this Supergirl who's, kind of jaded and seen some stuff. She's not just saving cats out of trees anymore. Like, there's this really powerful moment where she teams up with this young woman who's out for revenge, and it makes her question everything she believes in. And I think casting Momoa as Lobo kind of suggests they're going to explore that same dark, morally complex territory in the film.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really curious to see how far they push it.
I mean, it's just interesting to see how they're portraying Supergirl.
Totally.
We've seen this whole trend in superhero movies recently. Like, they're trying to make them grittier, more like realistic,
Uh-huh.
like the boys, Jokers.
Yeah, for sure.
But do you think that this is just a trend, or is this Supergirl, like, actually going to be different?
That's a good question. I think it has the potential to be more than just a trend. Casting Momoa as Lobo and this whole darker take on Supergirl's origin story, it all just feels like they're really trying to do something different, something unexpected.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm curious, what are your, like, initial reactions to all of this? I mean, does Momoa as Lobo surprise you? And what do you think your dynamic is going to be like? Like, I mean, there's such different characters.
Yeah, it definitely makes you wonder what kind of story they're going to tell, right? And I think the bigger question is, like, what does this mean for the future of superhero movies? Are we going to see more female superheroes breaking away from that traditional mold? More explorations of morality and the gray areas of good and bad. It's exciting to think about.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. I mean, production starts on January 13th.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that soon we'll get some more information.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait to see what they do with this.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today. But let us know what you think in the comments below. What are your thoughts on this casting?
Yeah, and what kind of dynamic do you see playing out between these two? Let us know.
And until next time, stay curious.
Keep on diving deep.